Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Faisal Raza Khan and you are watching Foresight. Viewers, at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization 25th Council of Heads of States Summit meeting in Tianjin, China, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to peace, stability, connectivity, friendly neighborhood and multilateralism. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization Tianjin Declaration not only condemned the recent terrorist attacks in Pakistan, particularly the Jaffer Express and the heinous terrorist attack in Husnain on students' school bus, rejected double standards, state-sponsored terrorism, foreign backing, but also called for joint action, strengthening Islamabad's stance on counter-terrorism. The summit also advanced cooperation on Belt and Road Initiative, trade, digital and green economy and climate change, while highlighting Pakistan-China partnership and regional stability, particularly in Afghanistan. With the Tianjin Declaration, Shanghai Cooperation Organization Strategy 2035 and new permanent bodies, Pakistan's role in shaping regional security and development becomes more significant than ever. To talk on this very important and imperative regional matter, we have in our studios Ms. Nabila Jaffer. She is a research analyst, lead China program at the Institute of Regional Studies, Islamabad. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your presence here. And with her, Mr. Bilal Malik. He is the research associate at the China-Pakistan Study Center, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, ISSI. Thank you very much, Haris, for your presence. And online joining us, Syed Basim Raza. He is the research associate at the Center for Law and Security, CLAS, Islamabad. Thank you very much, Basim, for joining us online. My first question to you, Haris, at the 25th Shanghai Cooperation Organization Heads of States of Council meeting, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif emphasized regional cooperation, dialogue, peace, integration and connectivity while supporting multilateralism. How can SCO leadership initiate a comprehensive and structured dialogue to effectively address the long-standing disputes in South Asia, because Prime Minister stressed upon that, especially when it comes to Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir?
Pakistan, that durable peace in South Asia is impossible without addressing the main issue of Kashmir, that is between India and Pakistan. Even though it's a bilateral issue, but as far as SCO's mandate is concerned, if you talk about the Shanghai spirit, it talks about sustainable peace. So
it has far-reaching regional implications.
Yeah, it has regional implications beyond India and Pakistan at bilateral level. So I think within this mandate and within this notion, SCO can facilitate negotiation or mediation process between India and Pakistan step by step. First of all, it can facilitate track 2 dialogue between India and Pakistan, or maybe a track 1.5, where eminent professionals, experts from different fields, they join hand, and then and initially they talk on the technical issues like for instance establishing of hotlines, establishing of groups of eminent persons and professionals, and the humanitarian issues like the recent crisis, the recent climate related issues. So first of all, SCO can facilitate such mediation between India and Pakistan, and then gradually it can move towards the political settlement or political dialogue on the Kashmir issue. So I think at this summit, Pakistan has, the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has very rightly reiterated Pakistan's position that peace in South Asia cannot be reached without the peaceful resolution of Kashmir issue under the UN resolutions. And as we know, SCO is a multilateral platform. SCO is also endorsed the UN Charter. So in this way, SCO, the current summit, it's I think a very important step towards the resolution of long-standing issues between India and Pakistan.
Your point well taken. Mr. Nabila, how does Shanghai Cooperation Organization unequivocal condemnation of recent terrorist attacks in Pakistan, especially when we are talking about the Jaffer Express and the Husnain school bus attack, its rejection of double standards and its call for joint action against all forms of terrorism, including the state-sponsored, foreign-involved and foreign-backed, especially India, reinforces actually Pakistan's stance on the regional security and the counter-terrorism dynamics?
Thank you. Yes, we can say that it is reinforcing Pakistan's stance on regional security and Pakistan's stance on interstate terrorism issues in South Asian region. If you remember, in June, during defense ministers, SCO defense ministers meeting, India had refused to sign the agreement, the declaration, because they had concerns that Pahalgam attack was not mentioned in that declaration. And this time, all of the three like terrorism issues, the concerns of both countries have been reflected in this declaration, and India has also signed this declaration. This shows that this happened because of some regional dynamics and some dynamics which
some sort of essence of the international politics.
Yeah, international politics as well. But it is also the result of Pakistan's diplomatic engagements after May India-Pakistan crisis.
We can say the diplomatic surge.
Yeah,
actually.
This is a diplomatic surge, and this is a diplomatic success for Pakistan, that it has been reflected now as an issue which is not only between two countries, but it is an issue highlighted as a regional security issue among the SCO member states. Yeah.
Definitely, your point well taken. Basim, do you think that the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Tianjin Declaration, which condemns all forms of terrorism and highlights Pakistan's evidence against the cross-border attacks, reinforce Pakistan's long-standing position on terrorism and contribute to its emergence as a net regional stabilizer in South Asia?
Thank you so very much, Faisal, for having me, first of all. Okay, so the Tianjin Declaration explicitly condemned all sorts of terrorism, whether it's cross-border terrorism, whether it's foreign-funded terrorism, all forms of terrorism. We, the Pakistanis, we had this pragmatic diplomatic view that we will condemn all sorts of terrorism wherever they're happening, whether it's in India, whether it's happening in Afghanistan, Central Asia, Russia, wherever it happens, we condemn that. Similarly, the idea actually was previously that the Indian, I would say, diplomatic propaganda was very strong in United Nations as well. And the portrayal of Pakistan was always given in multilateral forums as a state from where terrorism emerges and is exported. And the way we have debunked all these lies, this very structure of these lies, it is very commendable. And as Ma'am Nabila just said, the diplomatic might of Pakistan, it performed really well after this recent Pahalgam attack. Now, talking about Pahalgam attack and also the Pulwama and all those attacks, we have always condemned those. We were the one who wanted, Pakistanis, we wanted a very neutral sort of third-party investigation into the matter so that we can get to know what actually happened. But India has been denying that. So it appears like a false flag. I'm not calling that false flag, but it appears so. So the problem here is that there were no proper multilateral forum that stood by Pakistan in this particular scenario.
So when Basim, Shanghai Cooperation member countries actually asserts that regional prosperity banks upon a stable and peaceful Afghanistan, Pakistan along with China supports this goal to achieve regional harmony and development. Because that's not only benefit Afghans, but also entire region. Therefore, the trilateral cooperation mechanism between Pakistan, China and Afghanistan actually initiated. Now, you have just a week ago, you have written an article that was very thought-provoking. In that particular context, this trilateral mechanism, do you not think that the interim Afghan authority is also thinking on the same lines what the SCO pitched on, that stability in Afghanistan is inevitable to have progress, and particularly when we are talking about the Belt and Road Initiative or extending a CPAC into Afghanistan or to Central Asia?
Okay, so the article that I wrote about this, it was right after the trilateral foreign ministers meeting that happened in Afghanistan. The very reason Pakistan has been promoting this trilateral framework, this trilateral framework of the foreign ministers, is basically because we want a peaceful Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan is not just a matter of concern for Pakistan. It is a security complex that is faced by all these states of the region, whether it's Iran, whether these are Central Asian republics, China, Russia, all of them face this. Our rhetoric, our narrative, Pakistan's narrative is security first, stability later, because we believe that security is actually the most core prerequisite of stability. Economic stability, other forms of stabilities, all of them come with security stability. So my point of view in that article basically was that we want the Afghans to actually give us some sort of concrete actions which actually show that they're doing something against TTP, BLA, and all those sanctuaries that they have. But unfortunately, the recent history, it suggests that Afghans, the DTA, the Tehrik-e-Taliban Afghanistan, it is unable to do something on those lines. And no matter how much lucrative CPEC expansion into Afghanistan must be, Afghan interim government, it needs some very strong concrete actions, which they seems to miss. Particularly when we talk about TTP, they are a stakeholder in Afghanistan. Almost as per United Nations, 6,500 to 7,000 fighters, they have donated to the Afghanistan's policing structure. So they have stakes. So the DTA is somewhat indulged in, I won't say in cahoots, but it has some constraints from the DTA. We have seen the way they pledged their allegiance right after the fall of Kabul. So Tehrik-e-Taliban Afghanistan, they have to think right now that all the regional states, they want them to act in a concretized sort of a manner against these elements. If they don't, they would not actually benefit from the economic stability of the region. And that would be their issue, because they are facing a very, very strong, very grave sort of economic dilemma right
This is the problem, Basim, that unfortunately the Afghan government interim authority is leveraged towards this Fitna al-Kharij, TTP, and then the Fitna al-Hindustan, the BLA and the Majid Brigade and all others, they are actually getting refuge of these TTPs as well. Yes. They have refuge there in Iran, at the Iranian soil as well, because most of the times they took refuge at the Afghan soil, unfortunately, and that's why Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Balochistan are two of the very important provinces are under attack time and again. Your point well taken. Nabila, how does the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's endorsement of broad inclusive governance in Afghanistan, along with the principle that every nation has the right to freely choose its political, social and economic path, align with Pakistan's long-standing position on achieving sustainable peace in Afghanistan?
Pakistan's long-standing view on Afghanistan is always that Pakistan wants stability in this region, and stability is not possible without peace and a normal situation in Afghanistan. As we are witnessing that in last 2, 3, 4 decades, whatever is happening in Pakistan, that has a spillover effect on Pakistan. And we are firsthand, we are a country experiencing these issues of terrorism, extremism in this region firsthand after 1979 Afghanistan war and post 9/11 as well. So Pakistan's, this region is actually economically lagging behind, and one of the reasons for this economic not actually becoming economically progressive region is the interstate conflicts and disputes. and secondly the issue of terrorism. And Pakistan has always supported a peace and stability that is originating from within Afghanistan, and that has not been dictated from outside. But at the same time, Pakistan is also voicing that Afghanistan's government, this interim government, should cooperate with the regional countries on these issues of terrorism. And you know that SCO was the basic objective of the formation of SCO was to fight against extremism, terrorism and separatism in this region.
Definitely. Security cooperation.
Yeah, so security cooperation. So with that regard, secondly, it is in the interest of Pakistan, stability in Afghanistan. Since
Definitely.
we have initiated this connectivity project with China, and I think Afghanistan's government current government also understand the importance and the significance of this connectivity also for their economic progress. So this SCO declaration benefits all the regional countries, which wishes stability and peace in Afghanistan.
If you are saying that Afghan Interim Authority is more interested in having stability, that's really good, because ultimately we have got some signs from Kabul when there was trilateral, and there was even bilateral meetings, and Pakistan extended a lot of commerce, trade and all others, and lots of leverage to Afghan Interim Authority as well. So this is the dream of all, that there must have to be a stability in Afghanistan. Haris, what's the importance of the principle of the shared responsibility in addressing the climate crisis, given that underdeveloped countries, including Pakistan, contribute less than 1% to the global carbon emissions, but face recurring climate-induced disaster? We are still passing through a huge flood disaster across the country. And why must the global leadership act urgently to prevent further loss of life and livelihoods economy, which Pakistan stressed very hard at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization?
Thank you. During the Tianjin summit, the climate resilience and the issue of climate was one of the most important agenda items on the for this summit. For Pakistan, despite contributing less than 1% in global emissions, Pakistan is one of the most affected country as far as climate is concerned. We have recurring floods.
But
drought.
Unfortunately, we are absorbed too much into the global climate politics rather than to be the climate action and climate justice, what Pakistan is stressing from the last many decades.
Yeah, at this summit, Pakistan very rightly emphasized that the emitters of the climate, or the developed countries which have more share of in climate or in global warming, they must take the responsibility.
Like China and India as well,
Even
in
China and India,
Shanghai Cooperation Organization.
And other countries from the global north as well, even though they are not part of the SCO, but still they have their due share in the...
Definitely, the United States, Canada, Australia.
As well,
And
exactly.
even the European
countries.
Although they are contributing a lot into the green climate funding and all others, but still European Union is the largest emitter as well.
Yes, exactly. So that's why Pakistan's emphasis was that these countries, the developed world should take the responsibility of addressing this issue. There was a proposal by, I think, one of the members of the SCO there to establish a disaster relief fund under SCO. I think Pakistan should support this fund, because it will ultimately address the climate related issue in the SCO member state by establishing some data sharing mechanism or climate related forecasting within the SCO member states, especially if we take the example of India and Pakistan, and we are next door neighbors of each other. But if there is some climate related concern, then under SCO, if there is some data sharing mechanism or climate forecasting, Pakistan and India under the SCO framework can collaborate. So I think this was very important from Pakistan's point of view, that the SCO as a platform should advocate for the responsibility of the climate disaster, because Pakistan is one of the most affected countries and one of the most vulnerable countries as far as effect of climate is concerned.
Very right, very right. Ms. Nabila, as Pakistan faces rapidly intensifying climate-induced disasters, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa first, and then Punjab, and now, God forbid, Sindh, How do you view Pakistan's interest for China's disaster management technologies and joint ventures under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, such as the China-Pakistan Joint Lab for Disaster and Emergency Medicine, International Medical Center, and the Friendship Hospital in strengthening Pakistan's disaster response capacity overall?
Yes, for many years now, Pakistan is considering this response to climate change under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor and its cooperation with China. Multiple technological and other cooperations are going on, including a couple of centers, and recently Pakistan also launched its home-made satellite, which was launched from China, and the aim of that satellite is to manage the early warning and response system for the disasters. These efforts are going on, I think, but I believe that these efforts are not enough. When we see the magnitude of this disaster in Pakistan, I think Pakistan and China must accelerate cooperation at a deeper level. As Mr. Haris mentioned, that there are some efforts going on under the SEO platform as well, which will be good for interstate cooperation on the climate change. On the technology side, I think the capacity building of Pakistan must be should come under consideration, and talent development should also come under consideration for climate management and rehabilitation purposes as well. Like many years ago, we used to talk about climate adaptation, mitigation, and then adaptation. But now this issue has gone beyond mitigation and adaptation. Now the countries must be ready for response.
So your point well taken. Haris, how can Pakistan actually leverage the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's proposed initiatives such as the Development Bank, the artificial intelligence and digital trade integration, cross-border e-commerce for the small and medium enterprises, and the green financing tools to strengthen its role in the region's digital and green economic development?
Yeah, thank you so much. These initiatives as part of SCO's development strategy 2035, they are very important and they are already aligned with Pakistan's economic vision. How? Because Pakistan is already advancing its digital corridor in the form of under CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, under which a digital corridor is already in the process. So these initiatives are fully aligned with that, and Pakistan should, first of all, Pakistan should integrate its existing business enterprises, especially the small and medium enterprises, to the banking channels, advance its banking transaction systems, e-commerce, cross-border transactions, ease the way how the local and small traders they do their transactions. So under SEO, these things, I think Pakistan can further enhance its internal management of such banking system and other corridors. For instance, the proposed AI and talent development proposal under the SEO strategy 2035. I think Pakistan should establish the specialization centers in various universities or specialized training center in which AI-based training should be given to the youth, to the business enterprises, to get familiar with the advancement in technology and use of technology, especially the artificial intelligence for business, for economic transactions, and for the and ultimately for the betterment of the business and economic activities under CPEC. So I think this initiative is already aligned with Pakistan's vision. Pakistan just need to advance its internal economic management system so that to cope up with this proposal under SCO.
Very right,
yeah,
very right. Ms. Nabila, how could China's landmark global initiative, including the Global Development Initiative, that is GDI, the Global Security Initiative, Global Civilization Initiative, and the Belt and Road Initiative, with the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor as its flagship project, transform the global south, particularly Pakistan, in terms of development, security, and the regional influence?
Since China has launched various initiatives, like the first one was Belt and Road Initiative, and around more than 150 countries are signatory and forging collaborations with China under this BRI project. But since 2021, China provided a strategic support to this BRI project through other initiatives, and those initiatives are Global Security Initiative, Global Development Initiative, Global Civilization Initiative, and in this SCO forum, President Xi Jinping announced another initiative, which is Global Governance Initiative. So these initiatives are providing ideational support and support on levels of purpose and support on level of achieving comprehensive development, security and civilizational harmony, and also improving governance in the countries, in the BRI partner countries. I think these initiatives are filling the vacuum. There was a vacuum due to great power rivalry and geopolitical issues in the world, and especially the global south was unable to achieve SDGs,
Sustainable Development
Goals. So one of the purpose of China is also to help out these countries to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, and secondly, these platforms are also providing these countries an opportunity to not only be rule takers in the world, but also rule shapers in the world. So these initiatives are adding to the economic security and civilizational strengths of these countries.
Your point well taken. Basim, very short and brief, how does Pakistan-China strategic partnership actually reflected in historic milestone, academic and technological exchanges, and the youth empowerment initiatives like training Pakistani students in China aligned with the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's vision for regional cooperation and development?
When we talk about Pakistan-China strategic partnership, it is not just a partnership which is restricted to one aspect of bilateral relations. The way we are always blamed that Pakistan and China is a bloc sort of politics, and exactly the same blame was propagated against Shanghai Cooperation Organization as well, and it was called an Eastern Bloc in countering with the Western Bloc. But the scenario actually is that both these things run parallel, and they're very comprehensive and very multidimensional in nature. Talking about Pakistan-China, we cooperate in defense, we cooperate in trade, we cooperate in student exchanges. Almost 28,000, approximately 28 to 29,000 students from Pakistan are studying in China as of now. So the comprehensive nature of this partnership is also reflected in SCO. So when we talk about SCO has so many forums which exhibit cooperation in terms of youth exchanges. There's a youth development forum of SCO. Then there's a SCO Youth Tech Expo. It happens every year. Then there is a youth exchange camps propagated by SCO. There are a lot of academic exchanges, think tank network, think tank forum. I've been a part of the last year's think tank forum as well. So the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, it not just particularly addresses security, it also addresses the matters of law politics, which actually create a strong sort of a bonding between states. And that very element of Shanghai Cooperation Organizations makes it extremely different, entirely different from that of BRICS, NATO, EU, and all other multilateral forums.
So, Basim, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif emphasized on Pakistan's role as trade and transit hub for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization through China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, along with his reaffirmation of multilateralism, sovereignty and uninterrupted overall scenario, particularly when he was talking about uninterrupted water access under the existing treaties, and where he was actually pointing out, you know better than me, shape actually Pakistan's regional relevance and commitments. What do you think on that?
Okay, the point actually is Pakistan has a very pragmatic sort of a diplomacy. We've seen that over time. We never talk about aggression, coercion, or all those forms of diplomacy. We never talk about sanctions. We don't want any state to be sanctioned. So the narrative is very pragmatic. When we talk about Pakistan's role as a trader, first let's talk about the trade hub. Pakistan located in the center. Pakistan, the CPEC is passing through Pakistan, and it provides great opportunities to India, Central Asia, Iran, Afghanistan, all of these regional states. And almost a year back, I was on your show and we were talking about it, and I talked about this, how there is already a connectivity infrastructure in place. We won't have to do much to, like develop a SCO trade infrastructure. We won't have to go through a lot of pain for that. It is already in place. The problem actually is that India denies every sort of connectivity infrastructure project whenever it is proposed at the forum of SCO. Unfortunately or fortunately, that is for the world to decide. SCO believes in ultimate consensus. Now the scenario, the tide has shifted. We've seen in case of India's recent diplomatic isolation, and then the Indians going for a thaw with Chinese, and again, resorting to Russia when they're literally humiliated by the United States. Now the Chinese, they have leverage. Now the Russians, they have leverage on India, so they can push India, propagate something sort of that is positive for the region overall.
But India, we have noticed not only in BRICS but also in SCO that India time and again is stressing hard to have re-engagement or rapprochement with Beijing. But unfortunately, Delhi is still by heart not aligned with the SCO's core theme and what SCO wants, what the Shanghai spirit actually is. That because India is not ready to accept it, because still India is showing as a mouthpiece of West, basically.
The point actually is India was trying to be a potential mouthpiece of West, by utter appeasement. Appeasing President Trump when he came to power. President Trump talks about, eradicating immigrants. They send their plane, but take ours first. So this has been happening. They tried to appease the West, but that didn't work out as per their plans. Now, coming to the water scenario, Pakistan, whenever we talk about treaties and whenever we talk about multilateralism, we show that the commitment to multilateralism and the international treaties, it actually exhibit one state as a very positive stakeholder in the international realm. India, on the other hand, is going against that. And that actually brings problems. That actually brings problems not for India and Pakistan only, but the overall region, because precedents, they get set when states, they go against treaties.
Okay, okay, your point well taken. And Ms. Nabila, one question, the same question to you both. What significance do the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's 24 key documents, including the Development Strategy 2035 and Tianjin Declaration, along with the new permanent bodies like the Universal Center in Moscow and the Anti-Drug Center in Dushanbe, hold for actually strengthening the organization's long-term strategic and security framework? Please, first of all, Nabila.
Okay, these actually many people were advocating for strong institutions within SCO for the implementation of policies which were arising during other summits. And this summit is very important, very significant with regard to establishing these new institutions, because this region is facing these common challenges, of drug trafficking, as we earlier mentioned terrorism. For terrorism, there is a mechanism within SCO that has already been established, that is called RATS. And but many people, including me, were suggesting that there must be other supporting institutions to fully leverage the strengths of different countries to eradicate these kind of, or to address these kind of challenges. And one of the thing that was coming up repeatedly was also financial support to these institutions. And I think I have also heard that there is also an institution, and there is also a suggestion to have SEU bank to finance these efforts.
Development bank.
Yeah, a development bank to finance these efforts. Yes.
Okay, please.
I think this summit, the Tianjin summit, was very important as far as the evolution of SCO as an institution, as a multilateral institution is concerned, because we see there were 24 landmark agreements or documents which were adopted, and the most important is the SCO development strategy of 2035. Now, this implies that SCO is moving towards a next phase of its evolution from declaration towards a more vibrant multilateral institution. For Pakistan, these are very important because given our frontline role as in counterterrorism, our cooperation with the global community in global war on terror, our policy of narcotics control, and our the policy of regional connectivity under CPEC, and we are part of BRI. So these initiatives, they are closely aligned with Pakistan's existing policies of cooperation with the international society under SCO member state. Now coming towards the SCO, the most important document is, as we all know, is the SCO development strategy of 2035. It talks about regional connectivity, shared security, and innovation, and environmental issues as well, tackling the environmental issues as well. And now the proposal of the Universal Center in Moscow and the Narcotics Center in Dushanbe, whereas along with the existing, as Ms. Nabila has pointed out, the existing riot structure in Tashkent, so these equips SCO from a declaratory platform towards a more vibrant multilateral institution.
Practical platform.
Yeah, practical platform.
Action
so as far as the evolution of SCO is concerned. So I think for SCO, this summit, this Tianjin summit was very important. I think it was a turning point because it identified that SCO it identified the direction of SCO's future growth. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So nice of you, Nabila, for your presence here in the studios. Thank you very much, Haris, for your presence. And I'm really thankful to Syed Basim Raza. Unfortunately, his line disconnected. But thank you, Basit, for your candid inputs as well. Viewers, you have just listened to our panelists. It is important that although the bilateral issues are not basically the mandate of Shanghai Cooperation Organization, but the issues which are concerning to whole of the region, particularly the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, because that is the nuclear flashpoint, and the nuclear, God forbid, any sort of a nuclear war is going to be disastrous, not only for India and Pakistan, but also for entire region. So this is not only a bilateral issue, it's a regional issue as well. So rightly pointed out by the Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif at the summit. Then of course it is important that SCO, when it condemned all forms of terrorism, particularly the foreign involvement or foreign backing or sponsorship, that is loud and clear in Tianjin Declaration. This is the landmark declaration when we are talking about all forms of terrorism, and we know that who is the perpetrator of terrorism in the region and who is supporting those proxies who are actually launching attack from the Afghan soil to Pakistan. Shanghai Cooperation Organization emphasized on the joint action against terrorism. That is very important. Pakistan is stressing from last many years that there must have to be joint action by the United Nations, even the regional and trans-regional organizations. So SCO has taken this up now, and it is very encouraging and supporting Pakistan's stance. Actually, the security first and then economic stability is the Pakistan's emphasis when it comes to Afghanistan. But China says economic stability first and then security, but it's vice versa. But both countries want stability in Afghanistan, and that's why that was loud and clear in SCO, because Russia wants it, Central Asian republics wants it. Peace and stability, that is very important, and we have to wipe out all forms of terrorism and all entities who refuge at the Afghan soil. Unfortunately, that is inevitable for entire region if we want to have the smooth working of Belt and Road Initiative and extension of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor to Afghanistan, not only to Afghanistan but also to Central Asian republics and elsewhere. Then the capacity building, development of the human resource in climate change, that is very important. We have to cooperate in the disaster risk reduction as well. Climate forecasting and climate financing must have to be there. Then the data sharing and establishing the disaster relief fund could be viable solution to support all those Shanghai Cooperation Organization members who are in low capacity, just like Pakistan wants the capacity building and all that. And we have to tackle climate change issue jointly, because that is, and joint action and the climate justice is needed rather than the climate politics. Of course, development bank, artificial intelligence and digital commerce, green economy, that is must for entire region. Pakistan offered its geography as a trade and transit hub for connectivity and trade. So all of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization member countries must have to take advantage of it. And of course, terrorism, the drug trafficking and transnational organized crimes, these are also must have to be tackled and emphasized upon. And then of course the establishing development bank, including but the strengthening of Shanghai Cooperation Organization means the strengthening the peace, security, development, and ultimately the prosperity. So this is the core theme of Shanghai 5 or Shanghai Spirit when it came into being in 90s, and now it is a vibrant organization as it has given its roadmap to 2035. So it means that organization is now evolving, and we have to be very hopeful regarding strengthening of Shanghai Cooperation Organization and more actions rather than just the political statements. So this is all from today's Foresight. It's time to sign off. Allah Hafiz.